so you're engaged to a man who's married?
Yes.
That's nice. Am I the only one who sees something wrong with that?
This is the plaintiff, Arthur Thompson. He says he asked the defendant to marry him, gave her an engagement ring, and then a few months later, she told him her child's father would be moving in with her because he had no other place to go. Soon after, they got into a fight. The defendant called it quits, and now he can't get the engagement ring he spent $2,830 on return. And that's why he's suing. This is the defendant, Zenola Casaberry. She says the plaintiff asked her to marry him while he was still married to his first wife. A few weeks later, she found out he was having relations with another woman. It was obvious the plaintiff was nothing more than a cheater, and she left him. Owing money, the plaintiff wasted her time, played with her heart, and she owes him nothing. She's accused of refusing to return a ring. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see it? Come toward us. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Arthur Thompson, you are suing your former fiancée, Zenola Casaberry, for $2,830, the cost of an engagement ring that you gave to her that she refuses to return. You're suing him, counterclaiming him for $5,000, the statutory maximum, because he broke your heart. Okay, let's hear it.
Well,
what happened?
Well, Your Honor, just before Thanksgiving of last year, she comes to me, she tells me that she got something to tell me. I said, what is it? She said, oh, my baby's father is going to be staying with me because he don't have the place to stay. So I'm saying, well, why can't he be in a room?
Were you two living together?
No, we live separately.
Okay, and were you engaged at the time?
Yes.
Okay, and how long had you been dating?
We've been dating we've been known for 8 years, but 5 years straight, seriously.
Dating?
Yeah.
And yet you were still married to another woman?
Well, I was separated. I've been separated for 32
years. Yeah, but why didn't you just get a divorce?
Well, I was in the process of doing that.
What are you trying to? How long does it take you to get a divorce? That was 5 years.
Thank you.
Huh?
I couldn't find her.
You couldn't find your ex?
Yeah, I couldn't find her.
She's still your wife.
Yeah, but I couldn't
Yeah,
find
but
her.
there's a way to do that. Just because somebody absents themselves doesn't mean all you have to do is publish it in a paper X number of times. I mean, there's a way to do that.
Yeah, but I had to get the affidavit for the judge to sign so he can make the publication.
It's all kinds of trouble. Yeah, it takes a bit of doing on your part. How do you tolerate that he wasn't divorced?
I tried to, go along with him because I was in love with him.
So what?
And after that,
all the more reason to make him get a divorce.
That's true. That's true.
That's great. So you're engaged to a man who's married?
Yes.
That's nice. Am I the only one who sees something wrong with that? I mean, it's one thing to be patient, waiting for him to get the divorce. It's another thing to get engaged to the guy while he's still married. That doesn't bother anybody else?
We got engaged when he put the paperwork in for the divorce.
I didn't.
Really?
Yes. Really.
Wow. You couldn't just wait until it actually happened.
No.
You couldn't just push it to happen.
That he was going to do it.
So, yes. Yeah, well, how'd that work out?
It didn't work out good
exactly.
at all.
Okay, so now, she tells you, my baby's father's going to stay with me because he has nowhere else to stay, and you did not like that.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then what happened? Well, after she told me that, then she told me about my friend. Who is this woman? I said, this woman is my friend for over 30 years.
What woman?
This friend of mine.
No, but why was she talking about your friend?
Because she got on my obviously she got on my page from her place and found out.
She got on what page?
My web page, my Facebook page.
Your Facebook page.
Right.
And saw that you were corresponding in secret with another person?
No, I wasn't corresponding in secret.
But in the privacy setting?
No, it was just right there.
Wide open for everybody to see?
Yes.
Okay.
And she got on there. My friend told me after we had this breakup, she said, yeah, she's been trying to be friends with me for the longest.
You're talking about the woman?
Yes.
Okay, so she accuses you of having an affair?
Yes.
All right, Why did you think he was having
He's
an affair?
lying, Your Honor. I came to his house one weekend like I always do. I heard the phone ringing. The phone just constantly ringing. I wanted to know why he didn't answer the phone.
But
After a couple of while, after the phone rang a couple of times, the answering machine comes on. She said, "Hello, Arthur, this is," I forgot her name. I can't even think of her name right now. And he didn't come back in the room. So when he came in the room about 15 minutes later, I said, "Baby, why you didn't answer the phone? The phone was ringing." I said, "Why you didn't answer the phone?" I said, "You just walked out the room. What happened?" He said, "Oh, it's just a friend." I said, "A friend? A friend who?" I said, "I never met her
You
before.
can't have
Who is
a
this
friend?
woman?"
Oh.
I've been knowing him all this time. I never met this woman.
Okay.
And he's like, "It's a friend. You just, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, had she said anything that was incriminating?
She left a message for him to call her.
That's it?
That was it.
And from that, you jump to the conclusion that he's having an
that's
affair?
not what it is.
Oh, okay.
Let me finish.
There's got to be more.
The following week, it was Thanksgiving, I just said, let it go. Maybe I am, After his mother came over, the following week I went to his house. I said, "Listen, let me tell you something. I don't like what happened the last week I was over here because I don't seem comfortable with what happened. Who is this woman? I don't know who she is. I've been with you all these years. I don't even know who this woman is." He said, "Okay, baby." He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll call her." I said, "Yeah, call her. Let me talk to her." He put us on a three-way, on a speaker, and I spoke with her. And she said that they were friends. I said, "Friends?" She said, "I've been knowing him for years. I grew up with the family." I said, "How come you grew up with the family? You a friend of his. I never met you before. I've been knowing Arthur almost 8 years. How come I never know anything of you?" And I just said, "Could I meet you?" She made excuses that she couldn't meet me at that time. Later on, her and Arthur would get together, and we'll get together, and we would meet up. So at the end, I didn't like the way she was talking. I said, "Well, listen, I want to ask you a question." She said, "What is it?" I said, "I would like to know, are y'all friends, or are y'all friends with benefit?" She started giggling. "Oh, it's not for me to say. You have to ask Arthur." I said, "Well, you just answered the question."
Yes, indeed.
That was it. And I looked at his face changed, his expression changed. And I was like, "I can't believe this. I cannot believe this."
And that's when you guys broke up?
Well, yes. Yes, I left his house, yes. And then he called me.
Did you break up later, or?
We broke up. He called me maybe about a week later. I guess he tried to give me time to calm down. Maybe he figured I would be okay. No, I wasn't. I told him, "No, I don't like what happened."
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. I love this. So, are there any circumstances under the sun where you guys would allow your fiance to move her baby daddy into your apartment under the same roof because he doesn't have enough money?
No, I would not.
Why?
Actually, we're engaged.
Oh, I love that. So suppose she has a kid, okay, and the baby daddy says, "God, I don't have any money. I'm down to my luck." Could he move into your apartment with her and you?
If it was my best friend, I guess so.
No, if it's your best friend, trust me, it's worse. It's way worse if it's your best friend. Oh, yikes. Do you realize what you just said? You broke the code, bro. You broke the code. Going inside the courtroom.
I said, "I don't want to be with you no more. I don't want to be with you no more." So you mean to tell me you was messing with this woman all this time? I was with you. I didn't know nothing about her. If she was a friend,
Oh,
it
it's
seemed
one thing
like I
to be
would've met
married,
her.
but it's another thing to be messing around with the woman.
Yes.
All right, let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
So he gave you an engagement ring, and
Yes,
the
he
subject of
did.
the lawsuit is that he wants the ring back. And your answer to that is?
I don't think he deserved it. I don't think he should get it back. Because he engaged me. He the one who messed around on me. I didn't mess around on him.
Do you have the ring with
he
you?
deserve it. Yes, I do.
May I see it?
Yes, you can.
So now you have a counterclaim against him for $5,000 for pain and suffering. Talk
Yes.
to me.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
Because of the fact that I was with him and I spent money with him, and I just felt that if he won his ring back, why I can't get the money back that I spent with him?
That's what you want? This is a pretty ring. So that's what you want back? The money that you spent with him?
I don't think he should get the ring back because he gave it to me.
Where are you from? New York?
Yes.
Were you having an affair with the lady?
No.
Are you with her now?
No, I never did have an affair with her.
Okay.
Yes, he did. You could tell he
When
did.
did you guys break up?
What happened?
Right after Thanksgiving?
Yes, right after Thanksgiving.
Have you guys seen each other since then?
No.
No.
Have you guys talked to each other since then?
No.
Just that one time that she tells us about, and that was it?
We haven't talked.
Don't you miss each other?
He
I
texted me a couple of times.
I texted
He even
him.
texted me for Mother's Day.
I wish you happy Mother's Day.
Right?
Yes, he texted me.
Has he made any effort to try to convince you that she was just
he
being
never
goofy?
even said it was wrong or anything. He never even said, "You know what, you
That
really
never even
exaggerate."
came up,
He
Your Honor.
never did anything.
That never even came
What
up.
never came up? Whether or not you had an affair?
I
It's the
didn't
reason she
have an
talked to you.
affair.
I understand, but that came up. I just asked her, he never denied it, and
No,
you're
he
saying that
never
didn't
even
come up? How
denied
could it
it.
not
No,
come
she
up?
She never
never
even
did.
replied to me. She never. I
How
said,
am I
"Happy
replying
Mother's
to
Day."
you? You
I
text
wish
me.
you
Come
happy
on, stop
Christmas.
it. Stop it. I'll
Happy
talk
New
to you.
Year. She never replied. She said, thank you. That was it.
Well, she obviously didn't
I
want to
did
speak to you
reply to
anymore
her.
because she thinks you cheated on her.
Yes.
I did not cheat on her.
Yes, he
I
did.
did not cheat
He
on her.
did.
My
He
right hand
did.
to God, I didn't cheat on her.
He's
Where is this
lying.
woman? Is she
He's
here?
lying.
She's in
Is
the
this woman
audience.
here?
She's in the audience.
She's in the audience?
She's not going to give a testimony because
No.
her job.
Really?
She is.
I just want to ask her a question. Okay. All right, so here's where we are. You have a counterclaim against him for what?
On account of that, while we were together, we went different places. We went on cruise. We went.
So
to
what? What are you
different-
suggesting, that you supported
I just
him?
feel that if he can deserve his ring back, I want my money back. That's
Okay,
all.
but that's, so it's not for pain and suffering.
Yes, I am. I'm still suffering.
Okay.
So am I.
So
Yes.
it's pain and suffering. I think
I
he's
can't
suffering
even
more
get into
than
a
you are.
relationship
I'm
now
suffering.
because of
I
the
think
fact.
he's suffering more than you are. You what?
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. It looks to me that way. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying? I can't
No,
what?
I'm just saying. Anytime I try to get in, talk with somebody else, it's always something that's coming up. It's pain and suffering. No, it's pain and suffering. Your Honor, you have to understand. It's pain
Do
and-
I?
I've been
Okay,
with this
you
man
have
for
to
a long
understand that
time.
if the court system allowed every broken heart to come into court and say, I want $5,000, we would never have time for other cases, okay? So that's not going to happen. And then on his claim against you, let me explain how it works.
Okay.
Unlike other gifts, an engagement ring is a very specific gift. It is what we call, in the eyes of the law, a gift in contemplation of marriage. You're in a state that is no fault, New York. And the way it works is if you do not get married, which is obviously not happening, you have to give the ring back because the condition to keeping the ring did not occur. So the ring goes to him. I'm sorry for both of you that it didn't work out because it's always sad no matter what the circumstances is. And on the counterclaim for the reasons we discussed, 0. And I wish you both good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hold on right there, please.
So the ring goes back over to the plaintiff, and come on in here, and you're laughing and giggling away
No,
here.
because
Why?
I just don't like what happened. That's all.
Well,
I
tell
just-
me why not.
no.
What do you mean?
I don't, because he's wrong. He was wrong. Okay, I understand the state of the Lord and all that. Okay, fine.
Okay.
No,
Does he have any chance at all to get back with you?
None. None. N-O.
All right. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
none.
Okay.
All right, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very clear.
All right. Step on in there, sir. What's you got your ring back?
Yes, I did. There's no winners, no real winners in this case.
Because you still have feelings for her?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But there's no real winners.
Do you still have feelings for the defendant?
A little, I might have. But there's no real winners. Got to go through all this. There's no winners.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, most states have no fault now where if the engagement ends, the ring goes back to the guy. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Gerald Dunlop. He says he brought his 2002 Ford Explorer to the defendant's car wash, and when it came out of the machine, it was damaged. When he complained, the defendant said he wasn't responsible because it looked like the piece that broke was glued on by aftermarket glue. Huh? He's suing for $548.86, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Pete Rooney. He says the irate plaintiff was swearing at his manager, causing a huge and embarrassing scene, claiming his car was damaged. Excuse me, but the panel that came off his car was stuck on with caulk-like material, and he's simply not responsible for loose moldings, and has signs all over stating just that. Sorry, buddy, not this time. He's accused of being wishy-washy with a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's car wash damages Ford Explorer, but the defendant says the panel that fell off was ready to go. It's the case of Explorer annihilation.
Thank you,
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Gerald Dunlap, you are suing Legends Car Wash and Detailing, represented here by Pete Rooney. You're the owner?
Yes.
Okay, for $548.86, the estimate that you have received in order to repair your car. Or did you already repair it?
Yes.
Okay, that you have paid in order to repair your car that you say was damaged by the car wash. Tell me what happened.
I've been to this car wash several times, never had a problem. This time I came out, my car was damaged.
Okay, why don't you tell me a little more about it? What kind of car do you drive?
It's a 2002 Ford Explorer.
Okay. And how was it damaged?
A panel below the rear window of the hatch was ripped off.
How was it ripped off? Do you know?
I have no idea how it came off.
When you noticed it, what did you do? Did somebody come to you with the other part, or how did you realize that that had happened?
When I asked the attendant there at the car wash what happened, he said, we're not responsible, and they've got the parts. So they had the parts in the back of the truck.
The part that had
Broken
snapped off somehow.
Yes.
All right. What kind of car wash is this?
It's a full-service car wash.
Does it touch, or is it touchless?
It does touch. It's done with cloth. It's brushless, but it's cloth, so it does touch, yes.
Okay.
But there are blowers at the end. that
But
blow
how
air.
do you, in your answer to the complaint, you do say repeatedly that a blower, but how do you know that it was a blower and not something else that touched it?
Well, I'm not, I personally, I wasn't there, but when things come off, the blower tends to do that. There's really nothing else that would hit it with any kind of impact like that. This is, the blowers dry the car. So I'm assuming it was a blower.
Okay, because a blower is you think that the blower is more powerful?
Well, I think that the molding is loose and had been put on before, because when we looked at it, it looks like there was caulk stuffed in there.
Did they call you into the car wash, or when you say you weren't there?
I have a manager.
Who's we? The manager looked at it.
My manager
Is the
looked at
manager
it.
here?
He is not here. He's working today.
Okay.
No, well,
Why do people keep doing this? Don't they watch people's court? How am I going to ask you questions about what the car looked like? You didn't even see
We're in the middle of pollen season right now, and if you know in the car wash, we're doing a ton of cars right now. I'm not having them leave. I'm confident in what I have here.
Wow, that's kind of cocky.
Well,
you didn't see
I don't
the
mean to be
car.
cocky.
Do you have pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have pictures?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me see everybody's pictures, please.
I also actually have, because I did some research about this, there is a class action with Ford for this very problem. And there's websites dedicated to this very vehicle where that back paneling has been cracking off, because what happens is the water seeps in through the window, the rear hatch, and right there on that emblem. And I also submitted, there's tons of pictures of Fords all around the country with this very same problem. I wash probably 40,000 cars a year, and if my equipment was just blasting stuff off, I'd be out of business.
So a defendant comes into court with proof of, Ford's having problems with these panels. Should that get the defendant off the hook?
He should have bought a Chevy.
Okay, maybe he should have bought a Chevy, but does it get him off the hook with a Ford?
I would say look into the history of the car wash and see if they have history of things falling off cars.
So this isn't good enough for you?
Well, it is, but maybe this car wash is famous for things.
Oh, come on! Is the car wash off the hook?
I don't think it's off the hook.
Oh, you're kidding me!
No, I don't think.
They're coming into court with proof that Ford's having problems, that they're falling off, man.
Yeah, but they might have problems.
What kind of a judge are you?
But not out of the cars. It could.
Okay, we're going inside the courtroom.
Did anybody else complain on that day?
No.
Did you witness any other car coming out of there with a problem?
No.
Did you know that there's a class action lawsuit by Ford owners
No.
on this issue?
No.
Do you know what a class action is? General idea. It just
General
means
idea.
that the problem is so prolific that a lawyer's office somewhere
But I have
has
more.
decided to file on behalf of every Ford owner. And if a judge, hey, I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Am I talking too loudly for you? And if a judge certifies the class and says, yes, this is such a prevalent problem that we're going to let you lawyers represent everybody because it would be too expensive for people to all bring their own lawsuits, then you are a member of that class, then you end up getting something in the mail. Has that ever happened to you where you've gotten like a class action, you get like 7 cents, the lawyers get 7 million, and basically you would have to opt out or you're in it. If you would only opt out if you wanted to file your own lawsuit. You may want to do. Did you ever receive anything on this?
No.
Your Honor.
I got to talk. Can you stop talking?
I'm trying to give you the document.
Okay, and I'm trying for you to stop
All right,
talking.
my bad. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you hear somebody talking, is it your turn to interject? The
Nope.
irony of this is that every picture that I am looking at, plus do you think you need to? Every picture I'm looking at has a crack in exactly the spot that yours was cracked in. And the basis of the lawsuit is the fact that thousands and thousands of complaints have come into Ford about this, and they haven't declared a recall. And usually what happens when you get thousands and thousands of complaints is you make a recall, you send a notice to all the Ford owners, and you say, come on in, we're going to get it done right, and we're going to replace this free of charge to you. And Ford hasn't done that. That's the basis of the class action lawsuit. So given that, had you known this, might you have not filed the lawsuit?
Probably.
I mean against him.
Of course.
Right? Because this certainly creates massive doubt in my mind that it was the car wash's fault. I'm going to give you the class action information so that you can do what you wish against Ford Motor Company. Here it is. Good luck. Verdict for the defendant.
Both sides, hold on, please.
So apparently you have a class action defect in that car of yours. And what do you think of this ruling here and what you're going to do next?
I have to give it some more thought, speak to my attorney again, and I don't think they should wash Ford Explorers there anymore.
That's a good point. Maybe we'll ask him about that when he comes out. But are you going to file a small claims action against Ford to try to get this money back?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, but you're satisfied that it wasn't his fault at this point?
No.
You're not?
No.
All right, head around the corner this way. He doesn't seem convinced. He still thinks it's your fault.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Some people just, it's hard to, help them.
He just said maybe you shouldn't wash that brand or model car.
Come on. I mean, I can't, not wash every car. I just actually found out about this class action by researching it myself.
Are you going to just keep washing this kind of car if it happens?
Yeah, I'm going to keep washing cars.
Harvey?
Okay, two things, Kurt. First of all, brilliant on the defendant's part. And secondly, the plaintiff can now join the class action. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Lisa Monaco. She says she relocated from Pittsburgh to New York and rented an apartment from the defendant. Once she moved in, she realized the place was a disaster and should have been condemned by the Board of Health. The electric sockets were uncovered, there was mold, the windows were broken, and she and her daughter decided they could not live there. Now the defendant won't return their money. That's why she's suing the slumlord here and now for the $5,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Marlene King. She says the plaintiff and her daughter drove 8 hours from Pittsburgh to look at the place, loved it, and moved in. Then she started acting like a lunatic, saying the place needed to be condemned. The woman did a total about-face, decided to move out for who knows what reason. And she has every right to keep her money because she broke the lease. She's accused of renting a wreck.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendant says the place was so bad it should be condemned. Electrical sockets uncovered, the works. But the defendant says she was just a lunatic. It's the case of socket to me.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Lisa Monaco?
Yes.
Okay, you're suing Marlene King. You're your landlord for a very brief period of time. For $5,000, you say you're out actually more than that. Because she refuses to return, I guess, some rent and security. Tell me what's going on.
Well, what happened was when I went to go look at the place, I realized that, it was okay, and with our help of painting and cleaning, it would be better. That's what I would expect.
And why were you looking for a place?
I was relocating back to New York from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I drove in from Pittsburgh because she wanted to meet with me. So I drove in on a Saturday morning.
How long did it take you?
On a Sunday morning, sorry, 7.5 hours.
Ugh. Okay.
And when I went to go look at the place, my friend Debbie, who was there, who was helping me trying to find a rent.
Okay.
Yes, this is Debbie. And
is Debbie a realtor?
No, she was my friend. She was just trying to help me because I was living in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
She found this apartment.
Okay.
Come meet Marlene.
So you come and see it, and how long are you there looking at it?
Not very long at all.
How long is not very long? That's not an answer.
Say about 15 minutes, I would say.
So you were there, you drove
through.
7.5 hours, you looked at it for 15 minutes and decided you were going to take it? Was that great?
It wasn't that great.
Well, then why would you take it after 15 minutes?
Because I liked the space of it. And I have a very handy friend, and I figured, you know what? When he comes in and takes care of this place, he's going to make it look great.
Okay, what
So I had
changed
high
once you got
hopes.
there to move
When I
in?
got there and saw all the damage on the walls and in the bathroom.
How had you not seen that before?
You know what? They were up in the corner. I mean, you know, we came in, there were 5 of us there. It was me, it was Debbie, it was Marlene, and it was 2 realtors. So we were all there, we were talking about it, we were all laughing like Marlene thought it was great that I drove in on the same day. You know, we just found the place the day before.
No, I asked you, the question that I asked you was how is it that you didn't notice the things you're going to tell me about beforehand?
Because we were all chit-chatting about me driving in.
So you weren't paying attention to your task at hand?
I was looking around, but
So
I
how
guess
did you not see it?
I did not see some of the wall damage.
What is it that you then noticed when you weren't chit-chatting?
Well,
when
I
you came
noticed
in?
that the bathroom was not in great shape.
How so?
Okay, there was mold and mildew. I did not open windows, I have to say. I didn't go around opening windows. One window you couldn't even open, it was painted shut. One window, more than one window, had holes in the screens, and they were probably screens that were in the house from the 50s. Like, you can't just go out and replace a screen.
Sure
Those
you can.
things I
Why
didn't
couldn't
notice.
you go out and replace the screen? Of course you
From
can.
the 50s and the window?
Of course you can. It's just the question is just the size of the screen. That's
Okay.
all. That's all it is.
All right,
you can even
I'm
have a
sorry
screen
then.
custom made. It's not okay. But go on.
And then there were electrical outlets that I didn't notice that were uncovered. And when I did move in and I asked her, you know, can't the electrical outlets be covered? She goes, well, you could buy them. They're cheap enough.
You're talking about the plastic cover that you
The
screwed in?
plastic cover over electrical outlets. They weren't covered. The first time that I used the dryer, it wasn't working. And then Marlene did have the handyman come in the next day and fix it.
Oh, well, then that's out. Next.
No, it wasn't out, because then that night when I turned the dryer on and I woke up the next morning, the dryer was still on. It never stopped through the night.
Oh, and then
so
did
it
she
had
ever
a
fix that?
faulty. It had a faulty switch on it, which
So
of course.
was that replaced?
Yes, then she had it
So
replaced.
again, that's out. What else was wrong with
Okay.
the place?
The carpets in the bedroom, they did not reach the walls, so there was like
Were
a
the
big.
carpets there when you came the first time?
No, the carpets weren't there. She redid the carpets before I moved in.
Okay.
Okay. You know, the pictures that I'm showing, I mean, I know it doesn't really sound a lot to you right now, but if
No,
you...
it's not that it doesn't sound like a lot. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like it's all manageable. That's the concern I have. But do you have pictures?
Yes.
First, I want to make sure you're done. Is that the list?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
could
now what I need to see from you is proof of the things that you are saying. So show me
Okay.
all your pictures. And
Some
let me
of them-
ask, no, hand it to my bailiff,
Oh,
please.
sorry.
That's okay.
And can I talk to you and ask you,
Absolutely.
tell me about when she went to look at the place.
Oh, she went to look at the place. She drove down from Pennsylvania. She was there actually more than 15 minutes when she came down. We were there quite long because we were going to sign the lease if she loved the apartment, and I told her, Lisa, make sure that you love the apartment because you will be signing the lease for a year. I love it. This is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Her daughter loved it. Everybody was in agreement, and I kept asking her over and over again, make sure, because you'll be signing a lease for a year. Then, when she agreed that she did love the apartment, we signed the lease there. So, as far as...
So what do you think happened?
Nothing happened. When I had my previous...
No, what do you think made her change her mind?
I have no idea what made her change her mind.
When did you first find out that she didn't want the place?
She was crying in the car when she moved in.
The day she moved in, she was crying in the car?
She was crying in the car, and I went out to see what was the matter. I couldn't imagine. I thought somebody died or something, but obviously, she says, I can't move in here. The place is disgusting. Now, prior to her coming there, I had done a lot of work in the place to make it, sellable. I mean, like rentable. And
she does have pictures of holes in screens and, moldy area here or whatever. A lot of, the way I see it, the things she's complaining about fall into a couple of categories. One category is open your eyes when you're looking at a place. Things that you can't know, because if you don't walk over and open and close the windows, you don't know they don't open and close. You should walk over and open and close the windows. Mm-hmm. If you don't operate the dryer, you don't know that it doesn't operate. You should try to test and flush and do all the other things that you should do. That's the point of looking at an apartment. And then the third category are things that are new in between the time that she looked at it and the time that she moved in, which I think is only the carpet. Why didn't the carpet reach the?
Because there was molding along.
Yeah, no, you got to take the molding off and have the carpet reach the wall, then put the molding back on. That's how it's done. How cheap did you go that the person who put their carpet in didn't do that?
I went to Lowe's and...
Yeah, but what, the guy misjudged how much carpeting you needed?
It wasn't that...
And it doesn't matter that you go to Lowe's. You tell the guy how you want the carpet put in, and you know you must...
Look, when I went to see the carpeting, if it was laid, there was nothing wrong with it.
I'm sorry.
Like,
well, hold on one second. Let me show you what she's showing me, and maybe she's showing me something that's not the carpeting. So did the carpeting reach under the molding?
It went right to the molding.
What does right to the molding mean? Was there an inch between it and the molding?
It wasn't an inch. It was like...
Was there space at all between it and the molding? Why wasn't the molding removed? In your house, the molding would be removed, the carpeting would be laid, then the molding would be back on, right? So that it looks like wall-to-wall carpeting, which is what it's supposed to look like, right? You would not tolerate that the carpet be... that you could see the floor between the molding and the carpet.
You can't see the...
You can't see the floor. Right now, I'm going to show you her picture.
Okay.
And by the way, this is not code. You have to cover them yourself. You have to go pay the $3 at Home Depot and cover them yourself. So when you talk about everything you did, I'm not so sure about that because these are things you should have done. And by the way, I recognize that many of the things she's complaining about are a handyman and that they can take care of it. What things did she complain about that you did you take care of?
The washer and dryer was fixed. I have AJ Services, my contractor. He wrote me a letter, and because he was the one who said that he would fix anything that needed to be fixed to make her happy. The curtain rods, the screens, the slow drains, everything that she was talking about, the rods here and there, everything was fixable. There was nothing that I would not...
Wait, stop. Fixable or fixed by you? Did you fix it when she complained?
It would have been, but she moved out in 9 days, so nothing was... I don't think anything was really...
Take a look at those two pictures that I'm concerned about. The carpeting not reaching the molding. Do you see that? Do you see how you can see the floor for about an inch?
What's that? Where was this again?
I don't know. Where is that?
In my bedroom.
Yeah, and I can't tell from that picture.
Well, no, you can tell from that picture that the carpeting doesn't reach the molding and that the floor is showing. Can you not? Because I can. I mean, come on. Who put in the carpeting?
Lowe's.
So you hired somebody to put in the carpeting. Did you, before you paid the guy, did you look and see?
I did. Your Honor,
you didn't see that?
If I would have seen it, I would have called them up. And,
of course. Well, you should call him up now and tell him because is somebody else in there now?
Yes.
And did they point that out to you too?
No, they have no complaints whatsoever.
Well, but that's a complaint. That's a legitimate complaint.
Okay.
That's goofy. You know, something's going to snag on it. It's just goofy. Nobody should have to. That's just done wrong.
But she
you know
didn't
what I'm
show me
saying?
that. She never pointed that out to me, Your Honor.
Okay, but also when you walk through that apartment, do you see that there are outlet covers missing? That's a $3 repair that you should take care of?
I already put them in. They're already there.
I know you already put them in. I'm asking you, when a woman drives 8 hours, do you think maybe you could stop at Home Depot while you're waiting for her to get there? Also, what are these white spots on the wall?
I have no idea.
Well, you got to have an idea. It's your place. Here, get that back to her. There are like repairs. I'm sorry. There are repairs that maybe somebody plastered the holes or something and then didn't paint. Why is that? Take a look at it.
Yeah, it was just patchwork.
Yeah, patchwork, but would you leave your house like that? No, right? You would paint over it. Right?
No.
It's kind of crappy.
But my contractor was willing to do it. She never pointed out specific things to me. If she would have said...
She pointed out something because she told you why she didn't want to live there. What did she say was the reason she didn't want to live there? She said the place is disgusting. There's all this stuff wrong with it.
Actually, she told me the place should be condemned.
Well, that's probably overstating it.
I would say.
But that is overstating it. It's because there were 80% of what she's complaining about, she should open her eyeballs. So that's what leads me to believe that maybe she changed her mind and found a better place. Or who are you living with right now?
Right now, it took me 2 months to find a new apartment, so I was living with friends.
Where were you living for those 2 months?
I lived at Debbie's for a week. I lived at another friend's for a week, and then I moved into my brother's home with his family.
Okay.
My daughter and I.
Did you have any children with you?
Yes, I have a teenage daughter who was afraid to sleep in the bed because she thought her bed was going to go on fire with the outlet open.
Why would she think her bed is going to go on fire? Because an outlet isn't covered? Why don't you just take $3 and go to Home Depot and cover the outlet, and then there's no fear of fire? That's goofy.
We moved her bed. Because she didn't
you
feel
moved the bed instead of getting the $3 outlet cover.
I wanted to keep things the way they were because we just wanted to leave.
So if the tenant inspected it and saw everything and then signed, is the landlord off the hook?
I think the landlord should fix basic safety hazards. But aside from that, I think the tenants should be very careful in, reading all the fine print and checking everything when they went to see the apartment.
I don't know how you guys add anything to that. That was really good. Good job. Going inside the courtroom.
How much did you pay her?
I had to pay her $3,800.
And that represented what?
$1,900 for the first month security and $1,900
Wait, first month or security?
I'm sorry, for security.
$1,900 for security.
$1,900 also for the first month.
For the first month. All right. And when did you get somebody else in there?
In October.
And what month did she start in?
She started in August.
Is that accurate? So you left
I moved in August 15th.
Right.
And I called the real estate to see that she found somebody to move in there, and they said that she did find somebody to move in there right away.
So did you find somebody in September?
I found somebody in September, but they couldn't move it into October.
Had you ever heard that before?
No.
Do you have the lease that you signed with that person?
Yes.
May I see it?
Oh, I don't have that one.
Well, that would tell me whether you're out any money, because you're keeping 2 months, essentially, because she didn't do any damage, right?
No.
Okay, so you're keeping 2 months' rent, and I need to understand why you are keeping 2 months' rent, so I need to know that you're out 2 months' rent. And the best evidence of that would be the lease. Who has a lease?
I have a lease for her.
No, I don't want the lease for her. Do you hear what I'm saying? Did you get September rent?
Yes, September
If you
to
got
October.
September rent, then what would justify you keeping 2 months? Because the only month you would be out would be August. And the reason that I ask about that is that the purpose of court is to make somebody whole, not to give them a bonanza. In other words, what a landlord is entitled to are their losses, not double rent for the month of September. So this is something that's important to me because I need to know if you are in a better position because she breached, according to you, than you would be otherwise. All you can keep, a landlord has a duty to mitigate their damages, and all you can keep is what you're out. That's all you can hold on to. Now let me talk to you. You seem to think that you can see a place, say, I love it, take it off the market, I'm gonna rent it, sign a lease, and there are no consequences to you. Of the many, many things that you complained, I believe that you just either found a better place or didn't have the money and chickened out, whatever it is, you change your mind. You're not allowed to change your mind. That costs other people money. She's out the month of August. If you had said to me something that was not easily solvable, okay, but your biggest complaint that I agree with you on is the carpet. And that is also something that can be solvable. You're looking at stuff and you don't like that it's dirty. Okay, she said, I'll send somebody in there to clean. That's not a reason for you to be able to get out of a contract. So what I'm going to order is for you to return half of the money that you kept and the cleaning costs. Okay. So that would be a total of $1,900, right? And $250 in cleaning costs. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to say one thing, please.
Yeah.
When I said to her, Lisa, I would be more than willing to pay for the cleaning because it was cleaned. The apartment was cleaned as far as I can see. It wasn't cleaned enough for her. So I said to her,
the wall should have been painted and the plates should have been covered and blah, blah, blah.
But, my contractor was willing to do
okay.
anything.
Oh, that's great. That's why you're getting to keep 1 month's rent.
Okay.
No, we're done. We're done. Okay? Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff, but in the amount of $2,150, not in the amount she's suing for. Good luck, folks.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, hold on right there, please.
With that ruling, the defendant heads out into the hallway here. Step in here. What's your first reaction to what you just heard?
I'm glad it's over with. I tried to help her out as much as I possibly can. Unfortunately, there wasn't, the $1,900 had to be returned, and
you have a duty to mitigate your damages as a landlord. You understand that duty?
Absolutely.
You can't just charge
the
tenant for that if you don't try to mitigate. Okay. So head right down that way. So step on in here and satisfied with what you come out with? You got the cleaning costs too?
Yes, I'm very happy. I mean, of course, I would like my other things. I didn't choose to have to move again and put my stuff in storage.
Why did you see all this stuff when you looked around and now you're claiming it?
Well, when I came in and I looked at everything, briefly, we were only in the house for about 15 minutes. We were outside of the house for an hour, like she said.
That's on you, right?
No, totally. I'm not saying that it's not. Because I thought that with cleaning and with painting that it could have been taken care of in the proper way. I didn't realize people lived like that, and that
Did you
was
just
so
get cold
disgusting.
feet and want to go back to
Not at all.
homesick and want to go back?
My daughter and I were homeless for 2 months. We had to stay with friends and family for 2 months. My stuff was in storage, which was very traumatizing for us, and we didn't have a place of our own. I did all this just to be homeless? I don't think so.
Okay, Harvey.
So here's the key to inspection. You should always inspect stuff before you buy it or rent it. But when you do inspect, you have a duty to look thoroughly, because if you don't see it, but you should have seen it, you're going to be stuck.